Hello, good morning, good evening, at whatever time that you see this video. My name is Paola Vergara from Vergara Legal, and today we're doing a catching up in the office summer edition. There's a lot of things to report. We went to a Florida Bar Convention, and that was amazing. We took the Technology Symposium, and there's a lot going on with the law and intellectual property, and of course, the topic artificial intelligence, right? Everybody's talking about AI, but I just wanted to share with you what is going on, how the courts are behaving, and also how it is affecting business owners and local businesses. We have some cases that are related to AI. So I think AI is the topic of this summer. So we're going to get some questions, and I'm going to try to answer from what we heard in the Florida Bar Convention, the Technology Symposium, and what we are seeing in the court.
So, Pau, can someone really sue using ChatGPT or Claude, or can they just make a claim?
So yes, and actually you had the opportunity to see the preview of my article that is going to be released this week. So we are recording this in the middle of July, and we're going to post that article. But and it's called When David Got an Iron Man Suit, something like that. But the reality is that my article is based on actual cases that we're currently litigating. And the issue is that the pro se person, right? So you have somebody that is represented, and then you have somebody, a litigant, that is not represented, that is called pro se. And normally and historically, the courts have been not protective, but had given a lot of courtesies to people that are not represented that by attorneys, because they are supposed to be at a disadvantage. And it was true before. But now that somebody can just go into Claude or ChatGPT, pay $20 so they get a better version, and just create massive documents, make up cases, what is happening right now is that those pro se litigants that just create documents and file stuff in litigation are causing that representative parties to just spend a lot of money. Because if I have, and we do have a case that, it's right now, it's in litigation, and this pro se person is just filing stuff, and then my client has to pay us attorneys with, attorneys rates to first read. And this platforms, they can create 150 pages in just 3 seconds, and then we have to read, understand, check. And a lot of these cases are hallucinations, right? So they do not cite real cases, so we have to go and check and then pull up the cases that are not related or simply not real. So it is a real problem. And by the way, in the Florida Bar Convention, that was one of the topics that the judges were discussing with all of the attorneys attending, because it is a real problem, and they're going to implement more sanctions. There are some sanctions that are already in place, but the courts are digesting this quickly, right? Because it's something that is just overflowing the courts. It's overflowing other litigants, and it is a reality. And honestly, my advice to people that are tempted in using AI for litigation is be very careful. Be very careful, because if you use it unethically, the court is going to notice, the court is going to sanction. And one of the things that is changing is that it used to say that attorneys that use AI improperly or unethically will be subject to sanctions. Now the language that is used is that parties, not only attorneys, so pro se litigants that use artificial intelligence platforms unethically, or that just file stuff that is not true with the court, are subject to sanctions. So it is a problem. It's something that it will be digested by the courts in the same way that everybody's digesting it. But right now, what I think and what I am advising my clients is that, of course, use AI and educate yourself. Learn to use all of these platforms. But number one, do not put any information that you don't want to be spread publicly in any of these platforms. There was a case that was decided recently that said that if you share stuff in the platform, it was in Claude, I think, that you are then going to send to your attorney, that transmission of communication outside of the platform of the attorney just cut the attorney-client privilege, and it could be subject to be requested, and then you will have to produce it to the other party. Meaning, so for example, if there is a family law case, like a divorce or something like that, and you're putting stuff in the ChatGPT and sending all of the documents and then asking on the documents, the other party can request that you provide all of that history and all of the documents that you uploaded to the platform. And even if you don't want to produce it, they can subpoena the platform, and these platforms, they don't want to deal with courts, they will just release your history. So that's something to keep in mind, because everything that you send to your attorney, it's confidential and it's attorney-client privilege unless that attorney-client privilege is broken and there is no uniformity on the decision of the courts. But the courts are leaning into deciding that whatever it is in the attorney's software, because those softwares are bar compliance in the different jurisdictions, that it's still work product and it is subject to attorney-client privilege. But the stuff that the client puts on the platform outside of the software suite of the attorney, and especially if you're not even paying for the paid subscription on these platforms, it's subject to being requested and you will have to produce it to the other party. So just keep that in mind, confidentiality, and make sure that you check what the platform is producing, because you never know when it is hallucinating or not. Just check and make sure that you're doing your job.
You said AI gave regular people an Iron Man suit in court. What do you mean by that?
Well, so I like the Iron Man characters. So with these cases, what I was seeing is that, yes, people used to be just normal people, and then, lawyers, we go to law school and then we get all of these tools, and then the poor lady that doesn't have an attorney, she doesn't understand what is going on, but I know because I went to law school, right? So it's kind of like a set of tools. But when dealing with these cases, I noticed that I'm like, no, this is no longer that situation where you have this, oh, poor lady, or oh, poor guy that has no clue and cannot afford to have an attorney. No, now what we're seeing is the situation of very irresponsible people that just feed whatever information they can to a platform. The platform then spits thousands and thousands of words, so hundreds of pages of documents, and they don't even read what the platform produces. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, so this is like a drunk Tony Stark just putting the Iron Man suit and just firing everybody and then causing damage. These platforms are super powerful. They can actually create documents that are coherent, but they are not accurate. And there's a difference, right? So for example, a motion produced by an attorney, you will be able to read and understand, and it will have case law, and then it will not only find the proper case law, but it will apply it to the facts of the case, right? These platforms, they are capable of producing something that you can actually read. It's not craziness. You can actually read, and it is somehow connected. But then when you go into the details, they do not have the proper, or at least not now, the proper way of connecting the case law with the facts of the case. Therefore, it is not appropriate, right? Or even worse, they can completely create cases and just create a story so it is coherent, but it is not accurate. So it is powerful, but it is very, very dangerous.
How can you tell if the lawsuit against you was written by AI, or what are like 3 red flags for you to like notice?
What we're seeing is the massive amount of pages. So one of the good things that we learn in law school, and this is something that you develop, is that good writing, it's usually shorter than your initial writing as a lawyer, right? So if I used to write, motion to dismiss in 10 pages, now I am able to craft something that is shorter, but it is equally effective. With these platforms, what you see is just pages and pages and pages and just a regurgitation of things. But what I think it's very noticeable is the style of writing, which is not, it's coherent, you can follow it, but then it has a lot of dashes. It has repetitive words, and it's everywhere online. You can tell there are red flags. And I don't recommend my clients to, of course, use AI for legal purposes, but I do recommend them to organize and craft ideas. So being very careful with not putting confidential information. What AI does very, very well, which it will be a red flag in a final document, but it is amazing in document or in organizational flows or stuff that can be given to your attorney so the attorney can actually craft the final document, is AI is really good at organizing stuff. So, for example, I would not recommend a person to draft a legal document to be filed in court, but I do recommend my clients to feed AI without any confidential information the things that happen, and then ask the platform to organize a timeline. That is beautiful because AI, it's amazing. You will give the dates and then without confidential information, kind of like explain the details, and it will create a timeline. So in a final document, if you see a recitation that is just blah, 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 you know it's made by AI. But in something that you're taking to your attorney's office to organize, that becomes gold for your attorney, because the attorney will be able to see what happened, because attorneys, we get the story after it happened, right? But we were not part of it. The client was the one that was part of it. But when you create a timeline that is clear and organizes the events in history, then you're able to find amazing nuances and cases, even things that are the make it or break it of the cases. For example, in litigation, or even in the negotiation of deals, right? So organizing, okay, this was the first version of the document, this is the next one, this is the next one. Using AI, I have been able to find differences in the terms, especially when the deals take a long time and are different. They have different versions of the negotiation documents, right? Then you see, oh my, in the passing back and forth of the document, this term, it was changed by this party, but then the next version didn't have the change. And those are the things that will cause real issues and will end up in litigation, or end up in the end of a good business relationship, right? Because one party is going to think, okay, this was included, and then the other party doesn't have that in mind. For any reason, the term did not make it to the final version. And those are the things that end up in very costly litigation. And those are the things that AI catches very, very quickly and does it very well.
Should judges stop giving self-represented people the benefit of the doubt?
That is a difficult question. So I used to and I started my litigation practice defending foreclosures, and I used to see a lot of people fighting for their houses, and of course if they couldn't afford to pay the mortgage, they couldn't afford to pay an attorney. So it was a real necessity, and I saw the grace and the courtesy of many amazing, and a lot of those judges are already retired, but from the bench you could see the grace and the courtesy of a human being trying to not help, but really making sure that people understood that they had constitutional protections, and that due process, even if you don't have an attorney, it applies. But my opinion is changing because, as I already told you, what I am seeing is not people that cannot afford an attorney. It's people that are abusing the system because they have now this just massive tools that allow them to create documents, and they are not even reading what they file. And I think that is abuse, and the judges, and I hope that they do so quickly, the judges need to now take care of represented parties as well, because this person that is not even reading documents with thousands of pages is just making somebody else spend a lot of money in attorneys, and it is equally unfair. So constitutional protections, they need to be uniform for everybody, whether you have the money to pay for an attorney or not, and it is just not fair. And the playing field change. We know we don't have your normal pro se party. Now we have somebody that is supercharged with this massive, powerful platforms. So we need to understand that litigation has changed. The world has changed. Actually, business has changed because of AI, and we all need to understand and create new rules because it is different.
You said we treat AI better than we treat our own employees. Explain it.
Yes. So that is the other article that I'm releasing this week, and it's part of the production of what we work on as a law firm during the Florida Bar Convention. And of course, I represent business owners, right? So I'm always thinking, okay, so what are my local business owners doing? And one of the things that I learned is that the whole prompting is the key of using AI, and actually doing so not only well, but profitably. So when I was taking the class on prompting, the professor was explaining that you have to give not only the command to the platform, but you actually have to give context. You have to then you have to tell the AI what they are. You provide the context, then you give the instruction, and then you give examples of what is a good product. And what I thought is, oh my God, we're giving these courtesies to AI, but we're not doing the same thing to our people. And I started thinking about how many times I had these conversations with business owners that are upset because their employees do not work well. And I noticed that there is something in common. Business owners are always busy. So, and I understand it. I'm a business owner too, and it is difficult. But sometimes we don't carve enough time to actually train our people when they start working with us. And also when we're giving instructions, we do not provide context. We don't tell them what role they are in. So for example, I have a lot of my clients are small, medium-sized business owners. So they have, let's say, 3 or 4 employees. Those 3 or 4 employees, they have different roles. So the business owner comes to on Monday morning and says like, okay, you're going to do this and this and that, and then provides the instruction. But that same person may have different roles in different moments. That person may cover part of marketing, but she or he also helps with the bookkeeping, and then maybe, I don't know if it is real estate, maybe they also show a property. So there are many hats worn by the employees, but the business owner doesn't give the context, doesn't say, okay, come on, you. Today we're gonna work on marketing. So today you are the marketing strategies, and I need you to prepare this and this, and then provide the context, and then give the order, and then say, you know what I like was this or this, and please do not do this because I didn't like that. And I thought, okay, if we get into the habit of doing that with our AI platforms, we're going to get better results. But if we also train ourselves to do the same thing with our employees, I think we could be happier. We have a happier working environment and actually be much more productive. I think that if we apply the same rules of prompting to giving instructions to our workforce, I think we can create much, much better workplaces and be productive and happier and have long-lasting business relationships, which is also key.
Does AI help us think, or does it make it easier for us not to think?
I actually, a lawyer answer. It depends. So one of the things that we learned in this symposium as well is how you can help yourself thinking without being lazy. And one of the things that the professor taught us how to do is to activate the microphone feature of the AI. And for example, we had this practice, and I thought it was amazing, is in telling your AI, okay, tell me, help me developing this idea. And then you can start a conversation, and then you can create an outline. For example, if you're preparing for a presentation, or if you are brainstorming, the AI will help you think, but you have to tell it, one, that it doesn't have to agree with you, which is one of the big problems that AI has, that it will always agree with you. But you can actually tell the platform, you don't have to agree with me, just help me going through whatever problem or whatever presentation, or help me developing this idea. That, I think that is a brain workout, because it's back and forth. Now, if you're lazy and then you tell AI, oh, I have a presentation about this, do the presentation, give me a script, and then you don't do the workout, well, then you're not thinking, and you are not going to have that brain workout that will sharpen your skills.
If a business owner changes one thing tomorrow about how they talk to their team, what should it be?
To their team or to the AI? Yes, because I think that was a trick question, because now I think that we need to understand that our team is a hybrid. It's half people, half AI, and we all need to understand what it is our software suite, and what it is that we're using, and then check. And the thing that I will suggest, and I am telling all of my clients, is number one, create an AI policy, because everybody's using AI, and you cannot stop the development of AI and the spread of AI. So if you don't have a policy, then your people are going to use AI in the way that they think they can use it. And that is a liability. It's a big risk. So I prefer that we all talk about the big elephant in the room. Everybody's using AI. If you have a secretary, your secretary is probably using AI to produce stuff that you ask her to do. So let's just be honest and then say everybody's using AI, and this is the way that we use it, and then create a policy. And that policy needs to include what people in your company are allowed to include in AI, meaning you need to see if, depending on your area of business, if you're handling confidential information. Second, whether you are going to pay for the paid memberships, which allow for more privacy, or if you're gonna let your people use the free versions of the platforms, which are used to train the languages, right? So these are like large language models. So what they do is that for the people that do not pay, they catch all of the data, and then that is the data that is training and feeding the models. So you need to be clear with your team and say, okay, if you're going to use AI, I am going to pay it, or you have to, if you want to use it, you have to use the paid membership, or you have to change the settings so confidential information is not spread, and we cannot include this and that and that and that. It is especially important for people in healthcare, or people that handle like in lending, in real estate as well. Be clear if you handle let's say images of driver licenses or passports or things like that. You need to tell your people whether they can feed that to the platform, which I don't think you should, or not. But if you don't create rules, how are you going to implement or enforce anything if you're not saying what to do and what not to do, if you know everybody's doing it? Hey, if you like this kind of content, follow me for more and share it with someone who would enjoy it too. I'm here to make business and legal topics easier to understand. And yes, you already know this is only for educational purposes. If you need legal advice, go to my contact form and make an appointment. I'm here to help.